I've heard two UK rappers talk about Nardo Wick in their raps in the last 3 weeks, and I didn't know that Nardo Wick was like beloved like this. Are you a Nardo Wick fan?
I'm a part-time Nardo Wick fan. I think some of his music is good, though, not all of it.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll break those bars down later. But this is episode 61 of the Rhythm and Rhymes podcast. I'm your host, AJ Hughes. I'm here with my co-host, Antonio Hughes. Your home for Black music globally. It's a working title. Don't hold us to it. How are you doing? How's your week going? What's going on?
Pretty good. You know, we have summer shutdown with my company, so we get a week off. They do it like,
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I had never heard of that before, but yeah, But they do like summer shutdown every year. They do it also in the winter time, I heard. So I'm really just home right now. I just got back from Kansas City. That was pretty cool. I'm not going to say what we did because I don't want to spoil it, I guess. But, you know, big things coming.
Behind the scenes. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Yeah, but otherwise, you know, I'm good. I'm really tired, to be honest, from all the flying and driving and stuff. But I'm still doing pretty good.
That's good. I had a couple places I wanted to start, and I was trying to figure out what the best way to start was. And I think I want to start with a UK. No, we'll get to the UK lyric breakdown at the end. I don't want to start with that because I feel like that might take a long time. I want to start with Amapiano and the log drum takeover. If you've been keeping up with us, if you've been keeping up with music, there's been a 5,688% increase in the amount of Amapiano listened to on Spotify. There's been an 826% increase in downloads of songs tagged Amapiano on Spice. And we're seeing more of it in music. This week, Stefflon Don put out her album Island 54, which we're going to get into. And then there was two other songs that had Amapiano-esque remnants, or they are Amapiano. Higher by Burna Boy. And then, I don't know how to pronounce this. You see, African words have letters together that Americans aren't used to saying. So you got to, like, you know, stay with me on this one. But Mnike? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. But there was a remix with Loj and Shali Poppy. Which of these did you hear, Antonio? And then if you heard Stefflon Don's album, what did you think of it? You're muted.
I did hear Stefflon Don's album. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not the biggest Stefflon Don fan. I would just say that's from lack of exposure, not from quality of music from her. But I will say I did like some songs off this project. I would probably say some of my favorites were Dem Evil. And you know, when I see Adekunle Gold, I run. So I ran to that song. That was real good, smooth on that. And I definitely liked how Buju sounded on this, both Buju Banton and, you know, just, I guess, Buju. But you know, we can get back to that. But either way, I liked both of those songs as well. I definitely think it was a good change of pace in what I had been listening to. But yeah, I thought this album was good though. I definitely I enjoy the like kind of Jamaican sound when it comes to things. I feel like her voice, her accent was really thick, and I liked it on this project. And I definitely am gonna have to go back and listen to more Stefflon Don records because I've probably been asleep. So.
Yeah, it's in terms of length, it's an hour and 5 minutes. It's 20 songs long. And while I guess I want to start with the things I like about it, there are songs on here that I definitely like, right? Like, I like Money Grip with Beam. I like Dilemma with Sidhu Moose Wala. This is the second time I've seen that name. This is the guy that Burna Boy worked with on that one song we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then there was a couple other songs on here that I liked. I liked Control. And then I also liked Brothers POV. What's Poppin' had came out before this with Benson. There are songs on here that I enjoy and that will definitely stay on my like songs. They'll be in my Serato and stuff like that. But this album sort of reinforced the thought that I had of like, why does everything need to be called an album? You know, like if you really listen to the run of the entire album, it's like what brings a lot of these songs together. It's like, it's hard for me to even correlate where a lot of these songs come together, where it's like, it's not a cohesive body of work, you know? And I was listening to More Life this weekend, and on the cover of More Life, um, Drake, he says, I think he calls it a playlist on the cover, if I'm not mistaken. I'm checking right now. Give me a second. Um, yeah, playlist by um, by the October firm, right? And I feel like more artists should be okay with calling things that don't really come together cohesively, like a playlist or a mixtape or an EP. Because to me, it's like an album is sort of like a culmination or a group of songs that make sense together. And a lot of these just don't make sense together, even if they're good. You know what I'm saying? That's why I prefaced it with the things that I like. I feel like 1 through 4 are kind of dancehall inspired. I feel like 5 through 13 are Afrobeats or Amapiano inspired. And then she gets into like a rap bag for like 3 or 4 songs and then goes back Afrobeats. Um, and a lot of these are good, like I said, but it's like this just feels like it's just a bunch of randomness in a body, right? Like if you took 5 to 13 and said I'm putting out an EP, like this would make a lot more sense to me. But just because like when I got from 4 to 5, I was just confused. I was just really confused listening.
Yeah, I feel like when the mixtape era went away, that kind of went away. Like I feel like people are just calling anything an album. I don't think they're looking for true cohesion or like true like. There's not a lot of artists who are sitting here putting together bodies of work like top to bottom where this is like a story through the whole album. Like there's a consistent theme through the whole album. I don't feel like a lot of artists are doing that right now. Like I feel like one that I could point to is Saba's last album definitely had a theme. I feel like
Yeah.
obviously Kendrick still kind of stays theme wise. A one I don't feel like
IDK's last album.
IDK for sure. I feel like J. Cole hasn't done that in a while. I feel like a lot of his last few albums haven't been like concept based. I feel like there's just not a lot of concepts anymore when it comes to music. Like there's still people who do it, but I feel like it's not as frequent as it used to be.
Yeah, I don't even think it has to be conceptual. It doesn't even have to be that because not every artist is that. But I do think like the songs got to make sense together. Like if it's all drill records and you give it a name, like I'm cool with that because they all sort of sound like they're in the same pocket. Or if there's a story throughout the songs and they sound nothing alike, but one song is sort of related to the others, I'm cool with that too. But like if you listen to 4 and then you listen to 5, you're just like these have nothing to do with each other. And she's not talking about similar things like that are related on them. And so I'm just like, I don't know. As a music fan, I'm kind of just like, I don't need it. But at the same time, like thinking about the biggest artists, right? Like a Drake, a Nicki, um, you saw the change from album to single artist, right? Like that was one of the things people kept saying about Drake. Like he just has a single for everybody. Everybody knows a Drake song. And so like in this microwave era, it's like the album might matter less.
Yeah.
So they might just give you a pack of songs and you might just take a couple of songs, which I get, but then let's just stop calling it an album. That's what I'm saying. Let's just stop calling it that.
Yeah. I feel like the only reason I said a concept is because that's probably where my deviation is when it comes to like album versus just like a mixtape or an EP. Like I feel like most of the time on EPs or mixtapes, they're trying new stuff or they're putting out like just a collection, like you said, a collection of songs. But I feel like an album, you're coming in with a specific idea of what you want the entire album to sound like before you even make it. And I feel like you could hear that in what comes out of most people's like real like albums, I guess. Like even if another person I don't point to as much anymore, but West Side Gun, most of his albums are like that. Like it's not, you're not going to get to a lot of projects that are West Side Gun where you're going to be like, oh, this is more so mixtapey. Like all of them kind of go together. All of them kind of have purpose within the album.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I just was like, if Steph said, because at this point, the way that it shows up in my Spotify, an album is going to be right next to an EP.
Yeah.
Which is going to be right next to a mixtape, which is going to be right next to a single. So it's like, if you give me this concept of like, yo, this is my Afrobeats, Amapiano EP mixtape, and it's 6 songs, and they all feel like they in the same pocket, I'm gonna remember this and go back to it. Like some of my favorite mixtapes or EPs are like Split Decision is just a 4 rap drill. It's like a quick hitter for me, but I play that through all the way. Lil J's last EP, I play that all the way through. You know what I'm saying? So like for me as a listener, if you're gonna sell me like something packaged together. Like make it make sense.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. Next topic I wanted to get into, UK rap, drill specifically, is moving towards club better. They're doing the club, the house, the Jersey club sound better than most people, in my opinion. Right? This weekend, the Last One by Headie One, I think this was his second album. No, this might be his third. I think he got more than that. Don't even count me on the number of album. But Headie One, the last one. The lineup of artists on this project was actually insane to me. I didn't believe it when he put the track list out. I'm going to read this off and then I'm going to ask what you thought. Potter Paper, Stormzy, Tay Keith, Friday, Skrillex, AJ Tracy, Beam, Ayana, D Block Europe, Benson, Odumodu Block, Tay Iwar, Sampha. What were your initial thoughts? What were your standout tracks? Give it to me, pause.
Okay. I would say another album that I liked, but I need to listen to it more for sure. Like I feel like Headie One's accent is real like thick, and I feel like when there's those type of albums, unless it's like Stefflon Don, where I feel like all of the beats were just hitting me like, okay, this is crazy. I can get with the rhythm of this. It's like I definitely need more than one listen when you're really rapping on a project, and he was really rapping on here. So I would definitely say some of my standouts. The song with Stormzy that had been out right though. That's what I thought. I hadn't heard it in a while, but that one, the one with Tay Iwar was good too. Obviously Bougie on here again. He's always going to keep a good feature. Odumodu Block's song on here was real good to me. I really like that. That's what I'm going to be going back to. And Friday, I saw him on here too. That was kind of a weird one. Like I didn't know if it was gonna fit, but I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys you hear like that. Like when you hear him on a feature, it's usually good, and it's usually gonna like his voice sounds good on a lot of things. Like I feel like
you heard that new Will Smith.
No, I didn't.
That new Will Smith feature Friday. You ain't heard it?
No.
You ain't heard it?
No, but I'll go listen to it. I'll go listen to it after you said it, because I'm not gonna lie, that's a weird pairing. Like I feel like Friday be on them songs like at the beginning, like really giving you like some super deep like four bars of him just like singing real like something really powerful, and then the nigga comes in rapping real hard. I don't want to hear Will Smith do that. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I gotta take on the Will Smith song in a bit, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay, yeah, but I think Friday is gonna be one of those artists that's gonna be like, you're gonna see him on a lot of features. People are gonna pull him in as if he's like almost like the R&B baddie in the 90s, bro, when you're gonna put her in for the hook, bro. Like I feel like he's one of those people, like definitely a person that
the R&B baddie. We can be baddies too. We can be
Hell
baddies too.
Hell nah, bro. But that's then what it'd be like. Like I feel like he'll come on and you hear his voice and you know what's about to come after that. Like it's like hearing the hook. Like that's what I'm saying. Like hearing the R&B hook before the really hard rap verse. Like that's what it always kind of feels like when you're at Friday.
He's like Blxst.
Yeah.
He's like Blxst.
Yeah, Blxst for
Yeah, man. This Headie One album, to me, one of the best rap albums I heard all year. I'm gonna play one of my favorite tracks on here, produced by M1, Karma. And then I'm going to give you a lyric breakdown. I agree with you. That was part of the reason I wanted to start with a UK lyric breakdown, because I think that's part of it, right? Like people hear the accent or they hear something they can't really understand and they don't really know what he's saying. But I'm going to give you a little sneak peek here. I'm going to give the people a taste.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like one of the first thoughts I had, like when I heard this album, was like, I can see why Central C was able to blow up the way he was, because his accent isn't as thick as it was in some of his earlier stuff.
Yeah. Headie One's accent it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
like, oh, there's a sound.
This mug is loud, bro. 1 second. All right. I turned it down. Here we go. All right, I got Genius up for those of you who was not able to understand what bro said. He said, "Ain't it ironic? I got this bad B saying that I look like Marlo. UK personality. You wouldn't pick that up if you're not British. I was on the walk to light my spliff. I needed a wick like Nardo. Nardo Wick. Shout out Jacksonville's very own. Turn up, turn up. That's the after. We got a couple more. Only Force tried trapping Harlow. I bought the box for the shells. Vapiano. If you don't know what Vapiano is, look it up. Go buy you some pasta. You know what I'm saying? Pasta shells. He got the box for the shells. He got the box for the shells, like the shells you get in a pasta box. You think know what I'm putting down?
Bro.
That's the ad lib. Last one. I'm trying to make all the op boys dance. Amapiano.
Bro. I'm gonna clip that.
Amapiano. You know, bro, you are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yo, this was the crazy. I'm not exaggerating. I replayed this song 10 times in the crib with the speaker and the bass. And then he said, I'm trying to make you get it?
Yeah.
He put the shells in, bro. He put the shells in the case. You know, the gun shells. He's trying to make the op boys dance with the shells he put in the case. Man. Yo, I want to bridge the gap. I want to show y'all how cold the UK is right now. Because your favorite rapper could never. Who else? Who else but Headie One? Bruh. This song was crazy. And overall, like, to a serious point, bro, a lot of these beats on here are almost house beats. Like, this is almost a house beat. This is a house drill beat, bro. And that's why I'm like, him, AJ Tracy, Unknown T, even Central C, a lot of artists over there are doing the club drill-esque sound a lot better than people over here. Yeah. And I'm excited for it. Like, this album was so crazy. Make a W, produced by Skrillex. That's a good song. Cry No More, I love that song. And then even M1 on the beat did Recall, Why You Look So Tired. The beat switch on there is nuts. But a lot of these singles we already got leading up to the project. I had mentioned that a couple weeks ago, but like I said, one of my favorite rap albums of the year so far.
Yeah, that's one I'm gonna have to dig back into, because the first time I heard that one, I missed a lot of those parts. I'm glad you kind of broke that down, but I definitely, I agree with you on, like, the UK is definitely doing the drill thing better. I mean, not the drill, but the drill house thing better. Like, I feel like the only two cities I could really point to trying to do it right now in America is Philly and New York, and I feel like theirs is just a little different of a vibe. I feel like New York's doesn't always hit for me personally. I like Phillies. Like, I like what Uzi did. I like what Nicki did with Uzi. But
right, those are the two biggest ones.
Yeah. And I mean, you got Cash Cobain kind of doing something like it, but you don't like Cash Cobain. You don't like Cash Cobain, but
I don't like him as an artist. But the sentiment lies. I guess the point I'm driving home, bro, is like, the drill sound can get boring and monotonous, and the sexy drill that you inform. Sexy drill is a genre now, guys. I'm just being informed by our resident hip hop head. You know what I'm saying? Sexy drill, the club, like, all of that stuff makes the beats and the sonics more interesting, right? Like, when the production is interesting, you get a bop. And so, like, I feel like a lot of these drill artists should lean into that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, a weird, like, the even the Stefflon Don Fabio Foreign track, right? Like, that was just such a random collab, like Fabio on a house Amapiano beat, but it's like the BPM makes it make sense. Yeah. Like, I just want to see more of that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see more of that.
Yeah, no, I can see what you're saying. It's a good bop. Like, it definitely is gonna hit in the club. It hits just at home, so I know it's gonna hit in the club. But
yeah. And lastly, I want an M1 on the beat house project. A couple months ago, we talked about on here how M1 said he has a house album coming out this year. And he made that Karma beat. That beat was nasty. And so I'm excited for whatever he got coming out. Whatever he got coming out, I need it. It's finna be cracking the streets. All right. I ain't heard one bad Blxst song. Blxst debut album is coming out July 19th. It's called, what's it called?
I appreciate
That's what
it.
I did.
Let me see if I can find it.
You did. It's called I'll Always Come Find You.
Yeah.
The singles that have come off of this project so far: Hard and Empty, which sounds like an intro, Rewind featuring Feed, Fide, our favorite mispronunciation, sorry bro, Risk Taker with Offset, and then he just put out this weekend Dance with the Devil with Anderson .Paak. We can clearly see where the rhythms of this thing is going, and I'm glad this is like a dance album essentially. I'm hyped. What are you thinking for this album, bro?
I'm excited for it. I feel like I'm always gonna call Blxst red hot because it don't matter what he put out. I like it. Like he's been putting out great stuff. I feel like I always point to that first. I guess you could call it a mixtape EP at this point, but that like is one of the best debuts for out of anybody I've heard in the past couple of years, to be honest. Like he's just been really consistent, and there was a reason as soon as that popped up on my Spotify, I instantly pre-saved it because I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this. It's gonna be, when it comes out, that's probably the main thing I'm going to listen to. And I feel like he's one of those artists that is trying to bridge the gap and can bridge the gap because his voice fits on a lot of stuff, and he has that ability to switch to that tempo or to be on a different tempo. So I definitely think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's a cheat code, bro, because he does production and he kind of understands, I guess, the song structures and stuff like that. He can do like Central C is big because he's doing drill in like every country, right? Like, he's doing drill everywhere, which makes him bigger that way. And I feel like Blxst is doing a similar thing in his own realm, R&B, dance, like that, whatever BPM he's working in and he's doing stuff in, like because he understands it a bit better, he can sort of like, I feel like he's going to ascend a lot faster than a lot of people will give him credit for, even though he's already, I feel like, who's there left to collaborate with in terms of like he's collaborated with essentially like all the big names, like with Kendrick being the biggest, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm excited for the project and I'm glad. I like short rollouts. Like, don't tell me your album is coming in July 2025, bro. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm glad it's only 2 weeks. And I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
I'm definitely hyped. I'm ready to see if he puts out another single. I gotta go listen to that one with Anderson .Paak. But I guess, do you want to talk about?
I think that's the worst one.
You think that's the worst one?
And it's not bad. It's good, but it's the worst one that's come out so far. But what were you saying?
No, I was saying, do you want to get to the Lucky Daye album? Because that was kind of my gripe with Lucky Daye.
Okay, yeah, get into Lucky. I haven't heard Lucky Daye, so I want you to get into it. Tell me what you thought about it.
So Lucky Daye, actually I'll go back so I can make sure I do this the right way. Lucky Daye put out Algorithm this weekend. It was how many songs was it? Let's see. It was a 14-song project, very concise. There were some songs on here I did like there was a song with Teddy Swims. Teddy Swims' voice is like, it's almost generational. Like, I feel like his voice is crazy, honestly. Like, I feel like if you haven't heard some Teddy Swims songs outside of like the biggest ones, he can really, really sing. But that was good. Pin was good. And then he had put out Hurricane before the album came out, I believe. I believe that was a single. But I just feel like it was super like funk, and I didn't like how he sounded on the funk. Like, I just feel like it didn't really fit for me.
It's funky.
Yeah, bro. It was funky.
In a bad way. It's funky. A bad funky.
It was a bad funk, bro. It's terrible funk. But either way, I do feel like he also sounded like everybody else but himself. Like, I heard a song on here where he sounded like Frank Ocean. I heard a song on here where he sounded like Silk Sonic. Like, I heard a couple songs on here where it felt like he was doing that and not sticking like his guns. And I feel like he's so early on in his career that he can stick to it, and he's shown that what he's doing is working. Maybe it's not getting him to like I guess like a higher level or in a different conversation or like exposed to a different group, but I feel like he has a cult fan base that really enjoys what he does. And I feel like his last two, I guess the first one wasn't a full project. It was kind of like a combination of EPs, but like the combination of EPs and then the first real album he put out, I feel like there was a certain sound to it that was really good. And I just feel like on this one, he was trying to do something different. And I just personally, it wasn't for me. I just feel like I really like the songs that he put out before on those last albums. And I feel like he could have like stuck with the sound. But I do see somebody trying to grow, and I'm never the person to hate on like an artist trying to grow and do something else. So I mean, I guess good for you, but just not something I'm gonna run back to that much. I will be running back to that Teddy Swim song. Like I said, I'll probably run back to Pin. That was another good song, like I said. But I don't know if this is an album I'm really gonna be bumping frequently. So
Okay. I'm definitely gonna check it out because I'm a Lucky Daye fan. I seen him perform. He can really sing. Like he's really like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting how much gravity goes into the amount, like which number album you're on, depending on like if you're on a major label system or not. Like the whole the second album slump thing that went on and people talk about. In reality, like if you put out enough music, nobody's gonna care where the album really fell in relation to anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like we use Russ as an example on here all the time, but like There's Really a Wolf was the debut album with the label, and it's what mainstream recognizes as the major album. But there's 11 albums before that. You know what I'm saying? And like him building up that catalog allows him to like if we hear a rap song, if we hear even an Afrobeat song, he's done it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's known to get into these other bags, but he has a catalog of stuff that is like recorded of him trying all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you have one sound as Lucky Daye and you have 20 songs out and you put a whole album out that doesn't sound like those 20 songs, in the grand scheme of your catalog, half of your catalog now is stuff people don't know you for or like. You know what I'm saying? So if he puts out 7 more albums, this isn't gonna matter. But because he's only got out so much music, it is what it is. And I think that's just a byproduct of being in the major label system because they don't want to release albums at a ton of volume like that. And 2, it's not like, I don't want to say it's the quality thing, but like if you're just putting out a ton of music, a lot of it probably isn't good anyway. So they're taking time to make sure they get good projects, which is sort of like the conundrum. It's like, do you put out a ton or do you put out good? And it's somewhere in between. I don't know. I just think that's interesting because it's like, will this really matter in 10 years if he's put out 7 albums? No.
Yeah, I feel like the second album, like theory or like idea is really strange. Like I feel like there's so many artists where I feel like you get such a good, I guess, like first major label project. And then like Roddy Ricch is my main example with this. Like Roddy Ricch's first major label album was crazy. It had the box on it. There was really quality songs outside of that on that album. And then you come with the second one and it isn't recepted as well. But that to me, the second album like slump doesn't determine like a fall off. Like my other example of that would probably be Cordae. Like of course he came out, first project was good. And I felt like personally the second project was better. But I feel like that doesn't constitute like, did he fall off or he fell off because the second album wasn't good? I feel like it's just like, we don't have that much music of this person to be able to make like a real like judgment of did he fall off? But that's just me.
Yeah. And that's a subjective thing too, right? Like I would probably agree with you saying the second Cordae album, was it From a Bird's Eye View?
Yeah.
This sort of relates to my first point. It's a better album, but all the singles, the hits are on the first album. The first album got all his like most successful songs in that way. But I guess, potato, whatever.
Right.
So I got a couple of things I want to get into. You listened to the Meg album, and then you mentioned Roddy Ricch. He put out a single. Which one do you want to get into both?
Yeah, I'll get into both. I'll start with Roddy Ricch. I feel like it
was 911, right?
Yeah, 911 by Roddy Ricch. He put this out. I don't know if he put it out this Friday or if it was last week and we just missed it.
It might have been in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
It was last week.
Yeah, but I thought this song was good. I feel like from Roddy Ricch, I'm not looking for crazy bars. I'm not looking for this crazy rapper. I feel like a lot of the things I liked about Roddy Ricch were his flows and his beats. And I feel like on this, he had that. And that's what I'm looking for Roddy Ricch. Like, I don't really think he's ever been the rap you down guy, the bar you down guy. But I feel like the songs you hear from him are quality. And then if you compare that to what he was doing before, I feel like a lot of it wasn't crazy. But I always felt like Roddy Ricch never fell off. It was just like a lot of the songs he was making, you're trying stuff. No, for real, bro.
You're capping. You're capping. Cut to the clip from a year ago when he was talking about Roddy Ricch.
Bro,
Cutting out. All right.
whatever. But you know what? I thought this song was pretty good, and I think that Roddy Ricch definitely could still, make a major comeback. I never thought the songs went that bad. Live Life Fast. That album terrible. I don't like it, but I feel like the singles even after that, there was quality stuff. Like Late at Night, I really liked. He put out that 3-pack that had No Mop on it, and it had some other songs on it that were pretty good. But
Yeah, song with Blxst, that was good.
yeah, like he's put out some stuff, but it's just like when you get the stigma, you're like, damn, that last album was trash. People are just gonna keep saying that. But other than that, Meg's album, I will say this was very good. We did have some of the singles on there that were already on there, like
It's
Cobra
called Megan,
and
right?
yeah, it was called Megan. It was 18 songs, and I like this album. I feel like we were talking about regional hip hop last week, and one person that I feel like has always stayed true to her like regional hip hopness, I guess you can say, is Meg Thee Stallion. I feel like she's always tapping back into that Houston sound. She has her own unique sound that is that you're not hearing from a lot of those female rappers, because I feel like she's really reaching back a lot of the times. Like you can see that with the fact that she grabbed UGK for this, grabbing Big Crit for this. Like I think that those two songs were really good to me. Victoria Monet is starting to be a name that, like, when I see her on a feature, I know it's going to be good. Like, her voice on here was crazy. Her feature on here was crazy. It was another one of those things where it was like the 90s, 2000 R&B to rap song, like that type of thing. I really liked it. Her song on here with Glorilla was fire too. There was a couple songs on here that were really good, but this is definitely one of the like better rap projects I've heard this year. I feel like there's a lot of songs on here I can't go back to. I mean, I really do mean that. I didn't know if I was gonna like it going in, but I think one thing with albums, I've been trying to do is go in with less expectation of how I think they're gonna sound or how good I think they're gonna be. Like I feel like sometimes it's a letdown, sometimes it's a good thing. I feel like this time it was definitely a good thing. This is an album I'm definitely gonna go back to. I feel like when we talked about, it was either Hiss or Cobra, you were talking about how she really was rapping on that record and like she was getting deep on some of them songs. And I feel like this album had a bunch of that, but it also had her own the common sound you hear from her, like the turn up party records, the shake your ass in the club records, whatever, like all that. And I feel like she had a good balance of both. So
Okay. I'm actually surprised you said that. I'm not gonna lie, in terms of, I guess, prioritizing where the album was gonna go for me, it wasn't that high. We had a lot come out this weekend. And I listened to like 2 songs off of it, so I wouldn't even count. I didn't want to comment on what it sounds like, but I'll give it a listen. You know what I'm saying? Like her last album, to me, like there was only one song on there that I actually liked. It was the song with Sauce Walk on it. It was the Houston freestyle or whatever.
yeah, that song was fire.
That was fire. That was fire. But other than that, I was just like, I can kind of do without this. I feel like we've talked about Meg ad nauseum on here, and I don't know. I don't want to keep reiterating the things I don't like about her music because it's kind of irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to it though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna listen to it.
Next week I'm gonna probably get into Sauce Walker, because he actually dropped that album, and I heard there was a couple songs on here that were pretty fire, and he got Travis Scott on here, so I definitely want to go give this a listen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I guess we're gonna be listening to Meg this week. Outside of that, there was a couple other things that dropped. I'm not gonna take too much longer on new music. Bully Season Volume 2 by Kelpie Vibes. I have thoughts on this, but I want to know what you thought about it.
This was the week that I found out I like Kelpie Vibes on beats more than I like Kelpie Vibes actually singing or making rap records. Of course, I'm the guy who, if I see a name, like if there's a guy I don't listen to that much, I feel like, well, we listen to Kelpie Vibes a lot because it's a lot of his beats. But I feel like if you're going to come out with a project, I'm going to run to the one that I think, oh, this is going to be fire probably. So I ran to the Black Bone song. I was disappointed. I was hurt. I was like, this does not sound great. But I will say, off of here, there was like maybe 1 or 2 songs I liked, but it's definitely not something personally I'm going to be running back to. Kelpie, if you got some vibes for me, I'll run back. But you didn't have any vibes on me here. I will say all my life and
no vibes.
No vibes. But All My Life, I thought that was a crazy flip. I liked that a lot. And then I feel like the song Post for me was pretty good, but just just Kelby go back to making vibes. There was no vibes on here for me personally. I don't know.
That's so interesting that you said that, because like my take on the project was that there weren't any. There was like one standout record to me, and it was Umbrella with Ose. Because I've heard Ose before. She's fire. She's from Toronto, and I like that song a lot. I just like the way it starts, and I feel like them together makes sense. But I was disappointed or let down from this project off of the Bully Season Volume 1. I don't know if you heard that, but there was like, and maybe it was just the samples and the flips he used on a lot of them. Like, here's the intro. I'm gonna just give you the intro real quick, just a little bit.
Okay. How can I be on my full bit? My bitches. And then the top trust him and top this thing and stick his game.
Let me drop it out. It's too long. I'm not about to play a whole minute of the song, but you get the gist. A lot of that project was fire. That project was fire. And so for it to like this one to come out and it not really have a ton of standout tracks for me, I'm not too disappointed, because I think a big thing with like the producer, the artist lane, it's like you got to give them time to find themselves as an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which you know, and that's why I'm not disappointed. Like, he has a ton of beats. I know he has a ton of beats, right? Like, if you look at all the production he's done for some of the biggest Afrobeats artists, whether it be Burna Boy, Wizkid, Rema, it don't matter. Like, he can do the beats, but finding himself as an artist, it's just gonna take a minute, right? This is his second outing in any fashion as an artist, so I'm not holding him to like, oh, I'm done, I'm off Kelpie vibes, because he gave me some vibes. He's giving me some vibes.
Yeah, no, I was never off Kelpie vibes, but just maybe I gotta go listen to Bully Season 1, because the producer to artist lane it's a hard one to get in. Like, you see, we were just talking about Cash Cobain. Cash Cobain's trying to figure it out right now too. Like, and he has a lot of good just beats. And that's the thing. If you go back, Cash Cobain has good beats, but it's like, is it gonna work in rap? Is it gonna work when you try to rap over your own stuff? But
and it's beat from Cash, not from YouTube.
Yeah.
Bro. Hey, okay, Big Mama by Latto. This song to me, I feel like how we were just talking about last week, how you hear a song and you're like, I want my version of that song. And we were talking about that with Odu Modu Block, and how he did Wodo Wodo Seasoning as a version of Crocodile Teeth by Skilly Bang. I feel like she heard, what's the Drake diss? I don't even know the name of the diss at this point.
Family Matters.
I feel like she heard Family Matters and went to her producer and was like, give me a version of this, but throw the sexy joint. Because if you listen to the beat switch, it's the same. It's the same beat switch. And it's the same type of piano hard beat at the end. So I feel like that's what happened. And she didn't disappoint. It's a vibe.
Yeah, no, it was definitely hard. Like, I feel like it was definitely, the first half was like a real switch from what you usually hear her on, like, pace wise. But I definitely think this song was quality. Like, I think Latto's been putting out some hits this year, bro. Like, even in the past, like the past 6 months, and then the 6 months before that, she been putting out some hits, bro. Like, definitely has.
Dang, Latto coming with the vibes, but Kelpie vibe not coming with the vibes was not on my bingo card. Last song I wanted to mention, Who Am I by Louis Ray, who is a member. He's 1/3 of the group Western, right? And if you go watch the Daily Duppy freestyle by Western, I thought there's a guy named Haley that's in the group, the guy with the locks. His voice is fire. He's a singer. I thought he was my favorite person in Western. But this single, which is the first like solo track I think Louis Ray has put out, to my knowledge, I may be wrong, but he rapping on this song. He rapping like, this is my, I'm getting it out the gutter. I used to flip packs. I was on the road. You know what I'm saying? This was one of them. And so if you like rap music and you looking for like some like boom bap gutter hip hop shit, and you're willing to listen to some UK rap, I would check this out. That's all I gotta say on that.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely check this out when I get a chance.
Anything else we gotta get into this week? I feel like did you hear the Skilly Bang and Shenseea leaks with Drake?
I saw that they had came out, but I saw that they were old, so I didn't even click on them.
Yo, I think Drake's like we talked about on here how Drake's next move is about to be all international, bro. I feel
Mhm.
like we got a Skilly Bang song coming out. I feel like he put that out on. They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. The Skilly Bang, the Shensia. You know what I'm saying? Like he's about to do this international thing, and I'm interested to see which collaboration he chooses. Like Camila Cabello, I don't really care for those songs. I don't know what you thought, but I don't really care for him. I just want to hear him with Skilly Bang.
I thought the one, I thought Hot Uptown was pretty like, it was boppy. Like it was something I could definitely, when I was driving home, it was like, it was a good little 3 minutes, but it wasn't crazy. Definitely wasn't nothing crazy. But I will say, I do think Drake has been testing in that lane a little bit. Like even on More Life, he was testing it a lot. And then he put out a whole album testing some of that sound with Honestly Nevermind. And I still like
Yeah,
Honestly Nevermind. But a lot of people know I still don't understand it. I think that's just one of people's like least favorite type of Drakes because it feels like an imitation almost. But I still feel like it sounds good. Like I like how Drake sounds on that type of vibe. I feel like I feel like he fits on that sound when certain times. I still feel like the one that still gets me is Who Told You. Like I still be so back and forth on that. Like I feel like I'll hear it one time and I'm like, this sounds good, and then I'll hear it another time and I'll be like, I can see why people say it doesn't fit on here.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a big gripe people had where it's like the people critiquing the House Drake album don't like House.
Yeah.
It's like, which is fine, but it's like if you don't partake in House to begin with, then you're probably not going to take kindly to the House Drake album. Like,
Right.
no duh. You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to Drake and you like Drake, you've never heard a House track. So it's like, I don't know. It was just I don't want to say set up to fail, but it's good if you like house. If you like house, you can throw it in a house mix or whatever. But
Yeah, definitely.
regardless, regardless. Anything else you want to talk about this week? I did see, they gave some more the Lego Pharrell movie. The trailer came out and we never talked about it. You know what I'm saying? I was right. I was right. What do you think?
No comment. I think that is the dumbest thing ever. I think Pharrell is too great of an artist and too like creative to be sitting here doing a Lego movie. Like I want to go watch it just to understand like where he was trying to come from. Where he was like, you know what, bro? Let's make this a Lego movie. Like you seen the Lego Batman? You see that movie, bro? That's one of my favorite things. I want to do me, but like that. Like no, I don't understand it. I just no. And I feel like anything else to talk about, not really. Like I feel like all we talked about was what I was listening to. And I
Yeah.
mean, I was gonna bring in the blasting, but you had put it on the list before I got a chance.
Man, who else is going to give you this type of top to bottom coverage here at R&R? You know what I'm saying? We covered South African house. Then we went to the UK with Amanda, gave you a little drill house vibe. Referenced the Amapiano in the lyrics. Then we went to Black. Who else? Nobody else. Nobody else. We're the ones here. What songs you got for the people this week? What do they need to hear?
Um my two songs, because I heard this song like 3 or 4 times this weekend. I feel like Auntie is one of those people where if she hears a song, she's gonna play it 4 or 5 times. But it's funny as hell because she had a set where she was just playing Michael Jackson, and I'm like, bro, it's every time I hear Michael Jackson songs, I'm like, this is like putting Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan's careers together in one. Like it's the most insane thing ever. But off of Invincible, Heaven Can Wait, that will always be one of my favorite Mike songs. It's
There you go.
insane. But that, and then also I dug into that Don Toliver project because I didn't get to hear it before. Like it was real rocky, so I didn't know if I was gonna like it. But honestly, I feel like in the rock rap lane right now, Don Toliver and Ken Carson are probably my favorites. Like I feel like if I'm gonna listen to any of it, it's those two. But Don Toliver put out Backstreets with Tizo Touchdown, and Tizo Touchdown is another person where it's like if I see his name on a feature, I know it's gonna just be usually a hook or small, but it's starting to be one of my favorite names to see on the feature. I feel like on this, he was doing a lot of like ad libs and like a lot of the background vocals and stuff like that. But what he added to it, like you're always going to be able to feel him on the song. So Backstreets by Don Toliver, Tizo Touchdown, and then Heaven Can Wait, one of the best Michael Jackson songs of all time. So go with those.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Shout out Mike, MJ, Indianimal, Gary's own. I got 2 songs for y'all this week. We did not talk about the Olamide Ikigai mixtape album song. We didn't talk about it, and it wasn't a ton on there. But there's a song on there that I do love. It's called Hello Habibi. 2 minutes, 17 songs, quick vibe. Olamide is cold. I'm about to dive into his old stuff and come here with the report because I only know him. It's crazy. Like it would like to give you an American comp of this. Think if you only knew Rick Ross as the guy who started Maybach Music and found Wale and Meek Mill. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't know anything of Rick Ross's career prior to that, right? It's like you just know him from there forward. This is sort of how I am with Olamide, right? He started YMBL Nation, and you got Fireboy DML and Asha K. And those were the 2 of the first artists I heard in Afrobeats, period. And then you find out what label they're on. And then you find out all of that stuff. And then people, like, when you hear people talk about Olamide, they're like, yo, he's probably one of the best Nigerian rappers ever. Like ever. And that's like, all his career prior to that. And I haven't dug into that. So Hello Habibi, Olamide. J. Cole found me, bro. J. Cole found me. Fever by J. Cole off might delete this later. Came up, yeah, Spotify got me, man. I was not clicking on that album, but they got me in a little, yeah, we'll suggest them this song. But it's fire. It's fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the fall off. I'll retract all previous statements. Yeah. That's what we do here. We retract statements. Except for, no, you got to make that Roddy Ricch clip. Because what you just said, and then throw the old Roddy Ricch clip in there, you got to do it. You got to do it. But that's it for me this week.
I'm not going to find it. But you got to go back.
I got it. I'll find it. I'll find it.
Bro, you got to go back and listen to that J. Cole project, though. Like, I'm still on the whole, like, he ducked out of the battle. But it's like, it's a good project, bro. Like, it's not bad. I feel like, what's it called out here? Traded Truth and Ibiza. If he would have just left it at that, this would be a quality mixtape, bro. If he would have just left 7 Minute Drill off it in the first place. The thing is, though, the only reason I could see people not liking it still is the fact that you can still hear slight disses to people in these songs. So It's like,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I will, how about this? I'll say this here. I will go listen to the whole project and give it a thorough listen. If the fall off is heat. If the fall off is heat, I'll go back.
Okay.
But I ain't going back otherwise.
Okay. I can get with that.
Next week, we will be recapping our top albums from the top half of the year. If you don't like our opinions, go argue with your mama because you're not going to argue with us. I'm going to listen to the Kaytranada album fully and give it a more extensive listen because that came up in my feed today and I'm like, bro, he's one of my favorite producers and I didn't give his album enough listens. Yeah. So I'm going to give that a little bit more. I'm going to see if I like Lil Yachty and James Blake. Belly came out 96 miles from Bethlehem. I was told we might get flagged if we talk about that, but we don't care. You know what I'm saying? We get the people going. Okay. We do what we got to do. So we're going to check that out next week. Where else are you going to get this coverage? Nowhere. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're looking for these projects, hit the subscribe button. Lock in with us next week. Anything to leave the people with before I sign out?
We halfway through the year, so make sure you're getting everything done. You said you was going to get that at the beginning. There's no such thing as a New Year's resolution. It's just action. That's it. Yeah.
Let's go. We'll see y'all next week, man. Go check out that Karma by Headie One, produced by M1 on the beat. Go check it out. We did the lyric breakdown here, but now you have to go listen to the song. We'll see y'all next week.